We got it. We got everything we need right here. Wine and burning chemistry. You and me alone. You and me alone. Inside of our embassy. Everything we need's right here. Make me sing along. Sing along. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. Oh, watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. We got everything we need, right? Watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. Yeah, we got everything we need right here. We got moonlight on your naked skin. Summer's blind us to giving. Where you wanna go? Where you wanna go? Stars align onto your face. Pretty sweet, your sour taste. Make me sing along, sing along. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. Oh, watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. We got everything we need, right? Watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. Yeah, we got everything we need right here. We got everything, sharing all your deepest dreams, wonder what they really mean, yeah. In the empty bottle lies all the answers. Write down all your memories, feel the things you wanna feel, yeah. In the empty bottle lies all the answers. Oh, watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. We got everything we need, right? Watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. Yeah, we got everything we need right here. We got
Hello everyone. How are we? Oi, what an evening yesterday evening was. Jesus. A lot to say today, a lot to say. Sorry, I'm just gonna plug my earphones in, so please don't mind the sound. Please let me know if you can hear me now. Right, is everyone able to hear me? All right, great. Thank you so much for joining me at a different time, because I'm a little busy later on in the evening. Although, do let me know if this time is also a good time for you. I may just reschedule my whole working day, because you guys know I'm very flexible. I may just reschedule the whole working day and come live at 3 if you'd prefer, or if you'd prefer the usual time, you let me know. But hello everyone for joining us. It's nice to see so many regulars, even at a completely different time. Hello, Lydia, Elaine, Robert Collins, Maggie. Hello, Church Nelly. Okay, I can see that this time works better for some of you. Mm, Um, yeah, okay. Hello, Denise. Hello, Fancy Fancy. Hello, Ethan's husband. Hello, Rosa Roberts. Wow, I'm so glad to see so many of you, even at a different time. Good morning from California. Um, hello, Spectra. Hello, Uniquely Me. Time is okay with you, cookies and cream. All right. Well, this, as long as I know that it's okay for some of you, like every now and again when I'm busy in the evening, I can just come on in the afternoon. But yeah, what an eventful evening yesterday was. Oh, it's so weird when these things happen because it's like I'm just out here having a peaceful evening and about to go to sleep. This is why I hate the difference in time zones because I was literally about to go to sleep and then all of a sudden it's like Twitter just lit up with this nonsense. So, for those of you who aren't 100% clued on to what's been going on, there's a guy named Jason Lee, and that's him in the middle. He is a US tabloid blogger, kind of, he wants to be like the next Shade Room, I guess. I'd never even heard of him before this incident that happened yesterday occurred. And basically, his news site posted that the Queen was dead. And then there was some backlash. People said that it wasn't true. I couldn't see any reports about it, from the BBC or Sky News because there is a whole protocol that goes um, into announcing the Queen's death. Like you would know, especially if you let me as a William found Jason. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna assume that you saw that tweet from Murad, who was like, William's gonna find Jason before he finds his airline. But yeah, basically, he put out on his Instagram that the Queen was dead. And then obviously everyone comes after him saying, "Where's your evidence?" Because in his initial statement, they've changed it now on the Instagram and it's still up there. But in his initial statement, he was like, "I've got evidence from the royal kingdom." Like he called the UK the royal kingdom. He then claimed that, yeah, Murad went off. He then claims that the reason they found out was because there was a UK source who told them that the Queen was the Queen was meant to attend Edward Enninful's wedding. Edward Enninful, the editor of Vogue, who's getting married to his partner, which in itself was just ridiculous. He then doubled. Guys, excuse me. Please do excuse me. I'm laughing not because I think it's funny, but because I think it's ridiculous. He then doubles down and comes with the second Instagram post. That's the second Instagram post that you can see on the screen, saying that the plan of action is put in place for Queen's death, Operation London Bridge. Now, this is obviously what people in the United Kingdom already know, and we know that there is a protocol that gets put in place. Um, and so the whole thing kind of reeked of BS from the beginning. Jason Lee is an absolute menace. I am also going to say this though, and I think this is really, really important. Jason Lee, as tasteless as this was, Jason Lee is no different in many ways in the British press and their so-called My Palace sources in the BS that he came up with and the fact that people just kind of ran with it. And for the last 4 years, this is exactly what the British press has been doing to Meghan. And I just, mm, it's just interesting to me how people had so much energy for Jason Lee, but they didn't have the same energy for the last 4 years of what the British press has been doing to Meghan. And so all of these people who are saying, Jason Lee is going to get sued. I don't think that the palace is going to pick this up. Um, because first of all, um, I mean, that when it suits them, they have a policy of never complain, never explain. And if they respond to this one blogger, even though it did go viral, even though it did go viral, um, do they then have to respond to every single blogger that puts, fake news out? Because, um, because, oh, sorry, I'm just trying to look at your comments here. Jason Lee spread gossip and innuendos. That's what he's about. Yeah, I actually saw a video of him at, I think it was a Rockefeller party with Beyonce and Jay-Z, and Beyonce was so clearly trying to avoid this guy. So I don't know much about him prior to this, but he definitely does seem like he's trying to become the next Wendy Williams, but he could easily get Tasha Cade. Yeah, was he high? Was he high? Having said that, though, some people were still waiting for some kind of response. And can you imagine, even if I don't believe that he actually had any decent intel as to what's going on in the palace, there's no way that he would. Can you imagine if it was announced today or tomorrow that the Queen has passed away? I mean, he would still claim that he knew before anybody else. Yeah, Joyce, what Jason Lee did was publish his business and the whole world is talking about him. Yes, he did the same thing the British press has done to Meghan, quoting sources. And by acknowledging that, we're not saying that what Jason Lee did was right. We're not saying that at all. It was pretty tasteless. But this is exactly what the British press do, which is why I don't think that Jason Lee is going to get sued, because they're then going to open a can of worms. Because Meghan, quite frankly, could sue the whole of the British establishment for the lies that they've come up with. Love the meme you posted of Betty running away from the stolen crown and scepter from. Did I post that? I don't think it was me that posted that. I think it was I think Thrive with Harry and Meghan posted something. I haven't posted any memes. I think I retweeted something. But as you can imagine, the internet just blew up. Black Twitter just came out, and yeah, there you go. Lilybert Jason has just exposed the royal rodents and their sources are completely made up BS. Yeah. I am surprised though. I was surprised at how quickly it actually started trending. But then I realized that the so-called Hollywood whatever blog that he has actually has quite a lot of followers. I think it's got 2 something million on Instagram. Hello everybody for just joining us. Yes, Anna, the gossiping words abused and used Meghan's reverse roles, let him go for it. And I think he knows that he's not going to face any consequences from this, which is why he chose to do it, because now everybody knows his name. Everyone's talking about this. It was trending. of course, I saw the podcast said that Meghan leaked it to a friend who gave it to Jason because, of course, they're all in Hollywood. All roads lead back to Meghan. Oh, yeah, they're going to make up that lie. Also, another thing is, the photographs of Meghan and Harry out having dinner, minding their own business. Apparently, the tabloids had those photographs from over the weekend. So why did they wait until the day of Catherine's tour to release those photos? What's going on that they would wait to release those photos? So one of two things is happening here. Either these tabloid journalists are beginning to hate Catherine and just want to troll her, and or they keep releasing these tabloid photos to coincide with things happening with the royals here in the UK because they want to somehow make it look like, this is Meghan's team trying to overshadow um, the other royals, which is completely and utterly ridiculous. But that's kind of how they're trying to spin it to make Meghan look spiteful. And you just have to think, well, if grainy photos of someone having dinner can overshadow you, what's wrong with you? Yes, Movo, Jason wanted people talking and now they're talking. Yeah, Alita, fight to be the first to report evidence or not. Another thing, while all this was going on, I did put up a survey on my Twitter and said, is it right? And you all can tell me in the comment section now, is it right to bring up someone's failures, atrocities when they're dead? Because in case everybody has forgotten, and it seems they have forgotten, less than a week ago, the royal family paid out 12 million to Virginia Guthrie. And it's taken one story about COVID to make everybody forget about that and kind of fall back in line. And my worry is that we're never really going to have an honest conversation about the royals and the negative impact that they have had globally, in the United Kingdom, and the fact that they really don't do anything of substance. Yes, Lydia, they create news, not report it. Yeah, they want to put Duchess against Duchess. And the thing is, it never had to be a competition. They made it a competition when they started trying to smear Meghan. Yes, Wi-Fi girls, why would the Queen go to a gay black man's wedding? She could barely stomach attending a biracial woman's wedding. Exactly. I have no idea where they got that from. Irene, I used to work for a publishing company and it's the norm to have prepared something they can go to press with when a senior member of the royal family dies. It's updated periodically. She's not dead. Yeah. Well, to be honest, we can't actually say whether she is or isn't because the palace just haven't said anything since the last update of her illness. But there's no way some random blogger in the US would know first. Okay, so in response to so in response to the initial backlash, Jason Lee tweeted, "We don't post lies and I always stand by my sources, waiting for an official statement from the palace." And then once it became obvious, that it was absolute nonsense, as you can see, says the Squad podcast here tweeting, "Royal Kingdom and attending a black man's wedding did it for me." I was like, well, the UK press literally do this every day. Why can't Jason Lee the menace? And I think Tina has a very good point there. And they've now come out in the last hour and come back with our deepest apologies out to the royal family and all involved in this embarrassing situation. It was an accident, and we're working hard to make sure that this mistake never happens again. The intern journalist, so we're blaming the intern here, and we're calling them a journalist. I don't know if we should call them a journalist, but the so-called intern journalist was misinformed and published the draft post by mistake. Jason Lee, you are a menace. You're an absolute menace. The menace we didn't know we needed today. Do you know, guys and dolls, I was actually, despite the fact that deep down I knew this was nonsense, I was still scared to go to sleep because if it just randomly came out like late at night that it was actually true, I'd have to wake up. Um, yeah, blame it on the intern. Blame it on the intern. Christ. But yeah, this is the royal kingdom that Jason Lee was referring to when he said the United Kingdom. I actually genuinely think that this is what Jason Lee thinks that the United Kingdom looks like. Because in the initial tweet, he said sources from the royal kingdom, not even from Britain or from London or from the palace, from the royal kingdom. They've now changed. If you go to the Instagram post that they originally posted it on, I think it now says royal palace, but originally it said royal kingdom. Like literally, no one calls the UK the royal kingdom. Benjamin, Jason is a complete mess, but I find it funny and I feel guilty. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. Ginger, Jason has more credibility than the royal family and tabloids. Well, he probably does, to be honest. I mean, this was a very, very nasty mishap that shouldn't have happened, but he's broken other stories that were true. Oi. Anyway, that's that. That is that drama that was keeping me up all night. On to the next thing. Something is going on with one of the Meghan trolls. Apparently, she's been away for a while. She did a video while she's explaining why she's been away and how she's not okay. I didn't watch it because I really don't care uh, to listen to trolls wailing about how sad they are. But I think that the whole Christopher Boozy report really shook all of the trolls up, and now they're going to have to find another way. Meghan was their cash cow, but I think that well is about to dry up. It seems like Christopher Boozy um, is making progress with trying to get to the bottom of these trolls, and they're going to have to play some music. Gladys definitely needs to stop playing with people's feelings. Oi. And that cartoon is Sophia on Nickelodeon. I haven't watched Nickelodeon in a while. I just saw that like on Twitter. I see, Mac. This has to be on purpose. No way, this was by mistake. But I love it. It does raise a question. Will there be honest when London Bridge falls? I don't think they'll announce it straight away. I think they'll be very strategic about it. Yes, they're gonna run out of stories very soon. They've been wanting to see Meghan desperately, and I think that's a good segue into the next thing that I was going to mention. Um, Guys, were you counting the days that Meghan was away? Because I honestly wasn't. No one, I mean, I miss her, but I wasn't counting the days that she was away. I think it just shows that everybody else is literally more obsessed with Meghan than even her own fans are. I mean, counting the days that she's been away, y'all. This is why Meghan is the true queen because she just lives rent free. She lives rent free in their minds. Um, anyway, we might be getting another appearance soon because Daniel Martin, who is Meghan's go-to makeup artist, is in Montecito, and I don't believe that he lives in Montecito. So he could be there for any reason. He could be there for another client. But yeah, he seems to be around Montecito. And could this mean that we might be seeing Meghan soon? Who knows? But I'm sure the British press have his Instagram account on notice now. Mm. Shanika, Jason Lee is a gossip blogger, and a lot of people over here in the US dislike him. So it could have been a setup. Maybe. I did see a tweet from someone else saying that they had actually set him up with another fake story. So yeah, it could have been someone trying to set him up. Yes, Walking Dead, Murky Meg needs to go away. They all need to go away. It's interesting that People Magazine were the only blog or tabloid to take down their article about the trolls. So everybody else kept the articles up. So that tells you that people are definitely in cahoots, either with the palace or the trolls or both. Yes, God bless Christopher Boozy. Is Christopher Boozy doing a third report? I actually think that he's writing a book. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that I saw him say that he was writing a book or doing something else. Oh, thank you very much to Carol Land. Thank you for your donation. Appreciate it, darling. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day to everyone. The almost 500 of you joining. Please thumbs up. Sophia is a mean sister. Or has a mean sister. I know nothing about these cartoons. Veronica, I read a headline of an article that Boris Johnson and the royals want the war in Ukraine to take attention away from Prince Andrew. Yeah, that was a story that was circulated on some Russian news sites. So I believe that's where that came from. I'll let you make of that what you will. I'm not going to comment either way, but that's where that story came from, is all I'm saying. Churchill, Nelly, do you see how jobs are alive? Clearly not. Sonia, you're just up from your slumber. Good morning. I'm trying to pull myself out of bed. So the news about the Queen is not true. You make some mistake like that. You got some trolls. I can't help but feel that it was on purpose. Yes, Rosa Roberts. They were messing with his daughter and his whole family. So they better be scared. Yeah, where's Piers Morgan comes to criticize Jason? Where? I mean, they had all the energy for articles and podcasts by the New York Post criticizing the British press. Well, now you have an American blogger who's playing the British press at their own game. So are they going to talk about Jason Lee? Probably not. Yeah, Joan Garcia. We couldn't make this stuff up about Jason. He really stepped in it. Like even the squad wouldn't do this, right? I don't know what he was what he was thinking, which is why I think he did it on purpose. Because in all of this drama, his following has gone up. So it's been great for his business. Yes, Jennifer, International Women's Day is coming up, so she may make an appearance there. That is a good point. Maybe they will attend the NAACP Awards on Sunday. That's a possibility. They have been working with Black Lives Matter activists, probably. Avery, Meghan is living her life, varnishing her nails, enjoying her babies whilst creating Candace Project. She ain't worried about Plague Island. Amen. Yes, Alita, they worried about Duchess Meghan and she's living peacefully under a tree with her babies. Melita, but they're only deleting her Twitter account or also including all the YouTube videos she did about Meghan. So far, I'm only aware that they deleted her Twitter. So Joyce, maybe Daniel is in Montecito because the Screen Actors Guild Awards is this weekend. Oh, is it? And Meghan and Harry might be attending. Yeah, could be, or he could be doing somebody else's hair and makeup. Now that you've mentioned that the Screen Actors Guild Awards, that's the SAGs, right? Maybe he could be doing someone else's makeup for all we know. Um, but those are some really good possibilities there. International Women's Day, the SAGs, and the award show that awards Black talent. Yeah, traditionally, I can't believe they counted the days since Meghan made a public appearance either, and it wasn't even Squaddies who was doing that. Yeah, yes, he said that the Matt he was moment that meant to be moment. He was doing a report on the vice president troll. What's vice president troll? What's that? Please explain. Yes, Rosa, I know that it's run by a British person, but it just further reinforces the theory that they could be working in tandem with the palace. Claire Josette, I was watching a UK clairvoyant making predictions on YouTube, answering questions, and one of the audience obsession was, "Are Harry and Meghan going to divorce this year?" Honestly, these so-called clairvoyants and the so-called body language experts, they're all just part of the smear campaign. I keep hearing about these so-called body language experts on YouTube. Let me tell you something. I've never watched a single video. Never watched a single one. I don't want to see that energy. Okay. So let me just try and get on to the next thing. So while all this is going on, hang on a sec. No. Yeah, while all this is going on, obviously, Catherine is in Denmark, and a lot of the press aren't happy at the fact that they're not able to ask her certain questions that they would like to ask. And there's this journalist who has said, I'm just going to read this out. So basically, the British Embassy were warned. Um, they warned the Danish press not to ask Catherine questions about Andrew, and that if you try, you will lose your position. So this journalist basically says, I'm going to read this out. At BT, we tend to stick to the disc of what is reasonable to ask, but it's just interesting to know what Duchess Kate or Crown Princess Mary, for that matter, thinks about the Prince Andrew scandal. In fact, I would also think that it is relevant in relation to the Duchess and the Crown Prince's duties during the Danish visit. Among other things, the Royal Power Women will visit a Danish organization that works to create equality between the sexes and which helps women in crisis. Here it would be obvious to ask Duchess Kate what she thinks of her husband's uncle's clammy escapades. Bearing in mind, Denmark is generally considered more higher up the scale, or one of the countries that is highest up the scale, along with countries like Sweden and other kind of like Nordic region countries for gender equality. He then goes on to say, if I were communications manager at the English Royal House, I would probably also equip Duchess Kate to be able to answer wisely. He doesn't know why her nickname is Mumbles, clearly. But that's just not going to happen because the British royal family is not geared up for that at all. The Queen Elizabeth doctrine is that one should say and mean as little as possible. Even in the deepest crisis, there has always been noisy silence from Buckingham Palace. So other people are very, very clear and know the way in which the British royals operate. And then there's another article that then goes on to say, I will read this. Just give me a sec because I have to read it off my phone. Okay, so, and this is another Danish article, goes on to say, but the thing is that there is a completely different tradition in Denmark for the press to talk to the royals when the opportunity arises. Crown Princess Mary has probably been the best in Danish royal family to always show up for short interviews or doorsteps, if you will, when she is at work. The Crown Princess often wisely uses the opportunity to come out with her message. But this is not how the piano plays in England, whose royal house is a completely different size than the Danish one. It's more exhalated, and members of the royal family rarely speak to journalists. Well, maybe not in the manner that they do in the Danish royal family, but there is that invisible contract between the two. He then goes on to say, therefore, so far, people have avoided talking about Prince Andrew's crisis in public. One has simply just chosen to shut down. And then the article then goes on to say, in January, a journalist tried to ask Prince William if he supported Prince Andrew. We all remember that. And if he had spoken to him, Prince William remained silent. It is not very dressy for either Prince William or Duchess Kate to be silent in the case of Prince Andrew, especially not when you have women's rights as part of your field of interest. However, take a public distance from the man who has damaged the royal house for years. Queen Elizabeth's no comment doctrine probably worked fine in the 1950s, but we are writing in 2022 and in the future. Prince William and Duchess Kate will probably have to get used to talking some more and to ridding off communication beep storms. And this is true because they're not going to be able to avoid answering questions for much longer, especially if they're going to be doing more tours and appearances. Article goes on to say, here they can learn something from the Danish royal family, and Duchess Kate can appropriately use this trip to Copenhagen as a royal study trip. Seen through British eyes, the royal household is seen through British eyes, the Danish royal household is virtually scandal-free and much more down to earth. Here we call a spade, and here we let journalists ask what they want. This is what is called press freedom, one of the most important elements of modern democracy, and something that the British, and that's the end of it, by the way, and something that the British royal family just have no clue about, being held accountable. And it's interesting to see that um, the Danish press is allowed to be a little bit more open and, I guess, direct with their asking of questions towards members of the royal family in Denmark. Um, but I think Denmark is a great example of a country that has a monarchy, but that monarchy does not interfere so much with the overall way in which the country runs, and the power structure and the class structure of how the country runs, because people in Denmark very much believe in equality. Mm. Okay. Yes, Meghan is our oxygen. Levy, the body language expert, came up on my feed. I listened to him for a couple of minutes, then tweeted him, and he blocked me. Yeah, it's just best not to engage with them at all. They're not worth watching. Mm. Irene, Duchess Meghan hasn't walked a red carpet award ceremony since becoming a duchess. This could be time. Well, she did go to the Brit Awards, but I can't remember if she actually walked the red carpet that time. I don't think she walked the red carpet. I think she just appeared on stage, and then they attacked her for holding her belly. And then the last time we saw her on the red carpet was at the military event in New York with Harry. So it would be nice to see her on red carpets regularly. I want to see her on red carpets all the time. It'd be great to see her red carpet style again, and wearing things that she really, really does want to wear, and not that she feels like she has to wear because she's a royal woman. Mm. The search squaddies, Jason Lee brilliantly showed the UK tabloids and press, all the folks in the house, exactly what they do to Meghan on a daily, and they can't successfully push back. Yeah, yeah. And this is why, again, like I said, as tasteless as it is to come out and talk about someone's death, I will still kind of say, well, this is just what the British tabloids do all of the time. Just pull fake stories out of nowhere. Yes, Avery, imagine the people that benefit from inequality are preaching to those who suffer inequality about equality. It is just ridiculous. Make it make sense. I mean, I hope at least she's taking notes from Denmark because they're a much more progressive country than the UK. Mm. And another thing that I find very strange about all of this is, you know, Kate's gone there to talk about this childhood development stuff. This is a whole field of study that has so many experts who have trained for years, practiced for years, who really know this topic. And I just feel like the people who are most passionate about it and would be able to speak on it with a high level of intelligence are going completely ignored because all the focus is on her. But I don't know what she's actually saying or doing that is of any substance for this topic. And there was a tweet that I mentioned in a podcast yesterday from Richard Palmer, but I didn't catch the whole context of the conversation that he was having with Dickie Arbiter about this. So this is actually the full set of tweets regarding Richard Palmer's comments towards Catherine, and it's so the very first tweet started with, for some reason, Kensington Palace has was reticent about giving out Kate's outfit details today. It's happened a few times lately, but as the fashionistas have spotted, she's wearing a Zara blazer she sported at the England v German Euro 2020 game. So something's going on at Kensington Palace where they don't really want to talk about Kate's outfit details as much. That's interesting. So Dickie then goes on to say, this is Dickie Donkey Sanctuary Arbiter, the Queen's former communications secretary and the one who lied in that infamous prank before the Oprah interview. So he then goes on to say, it's about time the Duchess of Cambridge was recognised as a workhorse and not a clothes horse. It doesn't matter what she's wearing. What's important is what she's doing and why. She's in Denmark. And then Richard Palmer went on to say, I think readers are interested in what she's wearing, and there's a role for fashion diplomacy, Dickie, but most reporters always hope she will say or do something newsworthy that makes the clothes a mere detail to include, as with the Queen and Duchess of Cornwall. So let's just break that down. First of all, Dickie Arbiter saying she should be recognised as a workhorse and not a clothes horse. That's not a compliment to say to call someone a workhorse. Just because you're saying that she shouldn't be seen as a clothes horse, no, she shouldn't be seen as a clothes horse, but she hasn't done anything of great substance, and that's why we're always focusing on her clothes. But it's not then a compliment to then call her a workhorse. And it's just interesting that this is how these people who are involved with the royals see other people in the royal household, particularly women. And I have gotten the feeling for a very long time that the royal correspondents and the royal rodents are getting tired of the royals. They're getting tired of the fact that they don't bring as much excitement, as much money, as much clicks. I think there's only a couple of them with Catherine over there at the moment. They didn't all go, and it's going to be interesting to see who goes or how many of them go to The Hague when the Invictus Games is on, because Harry and Meghan are not working royals. So none of the royal reporters are actually obliged to go and report on them. But it's going to be interesting to see which ones do go. Because these are the same people who have been criticizing Harry and Meghan, calling them irrelevant. But I can absolutely bet your bottom dollar that they are going to be fighting to go to The Hague to cover the story. Because that is money that they're not going to miss out on. Mm. Okay, let's see what you're saying. Yes, Letty Lane, these people who are always talking about Kate's clothes and nothing else, are they not ashamed or embarrassed on her lack of content? And what does it say that a lot of the times all they have to talk about is her clothes? But the institution that she is in has not allowed her or any woman who actually wants to bring substance to be their own person. So what do they expect? Um, Sonia, I'm not going to put your comment on the screen, but I am as petty as you are. That's all I'm going to say. Um, yeah, Jennifer, more questions to face when they come to Jamaica. Emerald, the Danes are in the 21st century. Thank you so much for or I've just realized that I need to correct myself. They are Danes, not Dutch. I always mix that up. It's people from the Netherlands are Dutch, right? And people from Denmark are Danes. Please correct me if I'm wrong about that. The British lot need to come out of 1522 and join us in 2022. Amen. Let's hit that like button, everyone. Please do. Uh, Joan, Duchess, can you give the British royal family and Rags a clue that they're idiots? I don't know how I do that. Should I go down to Fleet Street wearing a t-shirt and a giant sign saying you're idiots? Should I walk past Buckingham Palace with a giant sign saying you're idiots? I think I'll get arrested, darling. Um, Hello, Letia. Don't worry. It's at a different time, so no worries if you almost missed it. Lily, if Kate is not to answer questions, what's going to happen when they get to Jamaica? Yeah. Because you're going to have that one deviant auntie that's just going to be like, why did you make Meghan cry? C-Mac, that red dress at the military gala was definitely a finger to royal protocol. That split. Oh, honey, we had split. We had boobs. We had arms. We had back. We had all the things, and I loved it all. I loved everything about that dress. I was what a modern uh, female royal who's comfortable in her body and comfortable in herself would wear. Jasmine, how do you make a career out of being a body language expert? Are we bringing back fernology too? Well, you can make a career out of being a body language expert if you're making up lies about Meghan. You can't make a career being a body language expert any other way. Sistren, why do Katy has to go all the way to Denmark to learn about early childhood education? Where are the taxpayers' outrage, especially? Because, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Especially because right now, I mean, you've got British school children who are trying to get school meals at school. So why on earth is she going all the way to Denmark? I feel like she should really the focus right now should be here in the UK. If she wanted to go to Denmark, that's fine. I just don't think that it should have been done now. Hey, yes, Rosa, Meghan brought One Young World to the UK. Well, she was part of that organisation well before she was in the royal household. Gosh, there's just so many things that Meghan could have brought to this island. They messed up. Marsha, Kate having 3 kids doesn't make her an expert on childhood development. Ridiculous platform to be on. Well, apparently she said that she's something along the lines of her feeling broody and wanting a fourth. Does William know this? Because we know how he feels about people with too many kids. Although that might just be for Africans. You know, Carolyn, they think they're complimenting her when they're just making her look like a fool. This is why I keep saying that the relationship between the royals and the royal rodents is abusive. And it's why this whole circus, this drama show just needs to end. I think what work is she doing? That's a good question. I wish my work consisted of going down slides in high heels. Latia. Okay, do you want me to say it in the accent? If you want me to say it like the meme, I will say it. Is she not embarrassed? This is so embarrassing. Uh, um, okay, let me slide down a little bit more. Etc. Kate often wears fast fashion. William speaks against the perils of the fashion industry as part of the climate action, but also they buddy up with the CEO of Zara, Smoke and Mirrors. Yeah, I mean, Zara is probably up there with the, top 10 most polluting fashion houses. They are a fast fashion house. Definitely not environmentally friendly. We still don't really. I don't 100% believe that she was just there for the childhood development thing that she's doing. Often with these royal trips, there's other deals that get done behind closed doors. We don't usually know about it until afterwards. Not to say that those deals were necessarily even bad. Sometimes they are, just bog standard trade deals, and the royals are just kind of used as mediators and as a, nice sparkling face. Um, but there could be something else, another reason why she went. Thank you so much for joining us. Almost at 600. Thumbs up, please. Towards the international press will be at The Hague, so the UK press is not going to be seeing Harry, Meghan, possibly Archie and Lily. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to see international press from everywhere. Everyone who wants to make a buck will be there. Yeah, let's see. Still wondering what she's doing in one of the most developed countries in Europe. Hopefully, taking notes. Hopefully, because the UK could definitely take some advice from Denmark. Yes, jet aviation. If grown adult slides down a slide, they turn it into breaking news. Yes, well, what happened to the Queen doesn't want royal women wearing pants. That's a good point. Apparently, it's fine if, as long as you're not the biracial one. Now it's perfectly fine to wear pants and it's stylish, but it wasn't when Meghan wanted to. Oh, thank you very much, NRB. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for your donation. Right, Rochelle, for some reason, I'm not petty until it comes to a British royal family. Go figure. I think we're all feeling a bit petty. This is a safe space to be petty. Kathy, okay, okay. Don't yell at me. Okay. I'll take the picture of the screen. Uh, I think there was another thing that I wanted to. Um, yeah, this. Sorry, this was just another section of that article that I was reading out. But yeah, when Duchess Kate visits Denmark this week, Kensington Palace fears the visit will be disrupted by the Andrew scandal. British Embassy warns press against asking the Duchess questions about Prince Andrew. If you try, you'll be thrown away. So this is the article that that tweet was coming from. But also, it's still happening in the UK. We've still got more flood barriers being breached, more flood issues being put out. Sorry, more warnings being issued. And I do actually believe that it's going to rain a little bit later today. So I don't think it will be too heavy down here in London. But I think there's some places where they do have quite consistent flooding, where they're going to have floods. And I saw this article that popped up that really bothered me in regards to some of the things that are happening in the UK with school pupils. Now, one of the things that they're suggesting is that pupils who fail their maths and English GCSEs will be banned from taking student loans under new government plans. Now, because of the situation with Mr. C, a lot of working class students really struggled with the working from home setup. They really struggled to concentrate, they really struggled to keep up with their grades, and they have really fallen behind. Now, we're quite lucky. We're okay with money in our house, and we've been able to get some extra tutoring for my little sister so she can catch up with a lot of what she's fallen behind with. But not everybody can afford that. And even in our household, we can only afford a couple of hours a week. There's other people that can afford a hell of a lot more and to get their children ahead. And so this to me is just another way of kind of keeping working class, middle class people who are already at a disadvantage because they don't have the privileges of people who are very wealthy. And now you're going to say that those that have fallen behind won't be able to get out student loans under the new government plans. So, this is just typical Tory government for you. It also goes on to say that ministers will publish a series of new proposals that include return of student number controls aimed at limiting the huge costs of universities to the taxpayer and cracking down on low quality degrees. Now, I 100% actually agree with cracking down on low quality degrees, but that has to be replaced with something because for a lot of people, they still feel that going to university, especially if you're from a working class background, is your only option. So people go and take out these huge loans. Now, I do have to say, in comparison to a lot of other countries, even though the loans have now become ridiculous, um, paying them back isn't actually that bad. So, for example, for me, I only pay back about 20 or 30 pounds a month from my student loan. So it doesn't really, I don't feel it. I think the way some people in other countries do, they take so much of your pay from your annual student loans. So while I do agree with getting rid of low quality degrees, it has to be replaced with something, more apprenticeships, more companies willing to take people on and train them, more vocational options for people, and they're not doing that. So you're going to have a group of people who really don't know what to do or what their options are. So you're just reinforcing poverty. Um, I'll get to your comments. Okay. Matty, my question is where the cross-trained teachers in England, what is Melbourne's qualification in childhood education? Yeah. Like Where are the experts in all of this? Because this is something else that I've noticed that Harry and Meghan do that the other royals do not. Anytime they are involved in any type of topic, they bring in other people who are experts in this field to collaborate with, to speak with. They don't center themselves, they center the issue. Yes, Carol, planting trees in a suit and now just going down slides in high heels. They criticized Meghan on the Elaine prank show, and now look at her. Yeah. And Meghan can go on Ellen if she wants because she's no longer being funded by the taxpayer. I want to know how much Catherine sliding down that slide cost the British taxpayer. Thank you, NRB. Then I think it'll snow in London. That wasn't on the forecast for me. I'll double check though. Yes, Catherine, I'm very much looking forward to the Invictus Games also. That trip will have substance. I hope Meghan has some programs for the husband and wives of the soldiers. Yeah, I'm sure she'll be involved in some way. Um, I still remember those amazing pictures of her at the last Invictus Games that she appeared at. She looked so beautiful. Yes, I've heard a lot about student loans in the US. Very, very expensive, especially if you're doing a high level degree like law or becoming a doctor. Actress Sienna Miller won her phone hacking case of the Sun newspaper. She got a lot of money. I thought the news about this came out some time ago. Was there another part of the court case that wasn't revealed at the time? Let me just check that. Because I thought she had already won, and that news came out a while ago. I can't see anything coming up recently. Mm. Sonia, am I affected by the flooding? How are the press covering the government response to helping citizens? I'm not personally affected by the flooding. As for how the press are covering the government response, they're not really covering it. Like you've just seen the images of the storms and stuff. But I'm assuming they're just putting in the usual protocol that they put in for just evacuating people and but the after process of helping people build back, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that looks like at all. Denise, American loans you don't get paid for 10, 20 years and you can't bankruptcy them. They take it out of your estate after you die. Wow, really? Wow, I did not know that. So I actually believe that in the UK, I'm going to double check this, but I think that if you don't pay off your student loan by a certain time, it just gets written off. But I think it's when you're like really old, when you're like 60 or 70 or something. But I just bring this up to just highlight how um how little attention that the royals are paying to actual issues happening in the UK. Meanwhile, they're frolicking all over Dubai planting trees. They're going down slides in Denmark. They're throwing condolences, out to other countries for their issues, but they're not focused on what's happening to their own people. Ginger Lily, I think the Invictus Games will be a big improvement over the Winter Olympics. I have not watched the Winter Olympics at all. I have to say, I was a little bit let down by the by the Summer Olympics. Well, I totally understand that the world has been through a lot with Mr. C, and I guess their justification was that they wanted a ceremony that was a little bit more somber. I feel like actually the fact that we have been through so much was the reason to really just go all out. And we know what a beautiful culture Japan has. And I was so looking forward to just the most amazing opening ceremony and closing ceremony, but they decided to tone it down because of Mr. C. And I wish that they'd gone the other way and really gave us a spectacular Summer Olympics, but it just wasn't to be. And I'm not much interested in the Winter Olympics either. So yeah, Cheryl, it's because Harry and Meghan know what they're doing. They are professionals. Oh, by the way, before I forget, please do comment with a number two in the comment box if you are at all interested in actually coming onto the podcast and talking, because that's something else that I want to start introducing also is regular listeners coming on and giving their opinions as well. So you're not just listening to my voice. So if that's something that you're interested in, you have to be somebody that I see regularly. But I am going to start allowing people to come on to start speaking. Eventually, when I get all of my ish together, I do actually want to have a call in line that you can actually call in. And then I'll take calls. But that's a little bit further down the line. Oh, Rohini, you're never late. Listen, if you never catch a live, there's always a replay. I do know that a lot of people like to talk in the lives. Yes, Deb, the Grand Old Duke of York, he had 12 million quid. He gave it all away for something he never did. There, I even sang it for you. And let's not forget that that happened literally last week. Everybody's forgotten. Christ. Joyce, the problem with Kate is that she tries too hard to be relatable, and to the things she does. Sorry, and the things she does always fall short of the mark to the point where it looks staged and not genuine. Well, if you don't actually have a history of being passionate about something, it's always going to show. They strung this project together very, very quickly, and only because they had to do something to try and match what Meghan was doing. But you can't compete where you don't compare. And everything Meghan was doing and everything Harry and Meghan continue to do is just a continuation of what they've always done. Not new to this, true to this. Marshall, you only got the notification for the podcast, so wonder I was late. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sometimes YouTube can be a bit funny, so you just have to kind of check during the day. Anna, we don't have free college education or free healthcare. It's called bust your for everything you want in life. Yeah. And the thing is, it's actually good for the economy, it's good for community, it's good for society to invest in education for people, to invest in good healthcare for people. So it's just when you've got a culture that wants to privatize everything and profit off of everything, this is a situation that you get. Okay, so quite a lot of you are interested in coming on. Uniquely me. I definitely want you on Uniquely Me. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Um, okay, I'm going to create a Duchess of Success email, and I will let you know what that is. And then if you want to be on the show, you have to email that email address and let me know with your username, and we'll just have a little bit of a back and forth. And then if I'm okay with that, then you can come and talk on the show, and we'll try and work out convenient times for people to come and have a talk. I would definitely love to have your opinions and a bit of a back and forth. Thank you, Lucy Wynn, for reminding everyone. Yes, thumbs up and subscribe and notifications. Rochelle, why the royals don't talk about how they are helping the commoners with the high utility bill? Oh yeah, they not helping. Nope. And it's not just like headline fluff, guys and dolls. Like the utility bills have really gone up. I can feel it. It's so bad. Utility bills have gone up, transport's gone up, inflation on food, outrageous. You were singing with me. Should I quit my day job and go on the X Factor? Am I good enough for that? I mean, even if you to go back to the thing about student loans, even if you have to pay for it, it shouldn't cost that much. It should be subsidized. Now, I have a friend from Poland who's a graphic designer, and his whole degree only cost about like I think like 1,500. But you've now got to pay it's upwards of 9,000 a year here in the UK, and it doesn't even make a difference whether you're going to a top university or one of the worst universities. When I was in university, it was only about 3,000 a year. Now it's 9,000. Outrageous. Benjamin, do you think Brexit was a good idea? Well, clearly not. Clearly not. And that's not to say that the EU as an organization doesn't have issues, but it was better to resolve those issues, come together as a community, as the EU, to resolve those issues, other than you just decide you're going to vote to take yourself out and now have to deal with all the issues of coming out. And you didn't even put contingencies in place to make sure that you could handle um, not having that allyship. Yes, Mary, a dumbed down populace will vote against their own interests. That's a very good point. Oh, Avery, yes, I saw that journalist who could speak six languages too. How amazing was that? How do you struggle with one language? Just don't get it. Yeah. He's a lot more qualified to be a working royal because he'd actually work and be able to communicate with a wide range of people. Okay, everyone. I let me just check. I don't think I actually had anything else useful to say. So yeah, we'll just end with the usual comments, and that'll be all. I did actually hear that Denmark has its own Republican movement. There are some people who want to get rid of the royal family. So if anyone's from Denmark, please feel free to comment and let us know why. From what I know about the royal family in Denmark, anyway, they pretty much just mind their own business um, and don't get involved in too many dramas. But if there's anyone from Denmark who would like to let us know why you want to get rid of the royal family, please do let us know. Oh, Truth Dilly, you missed the best part at the beginning. You have to watch the replay. And we feel it in our pocket. Inflation went up 40% and it's going higher. Some people can't afford to pay the utilities for transport for food. Okay, so Anna, look into if you want to see where it's even worse, look into house prices in Ireland. House prices in Ireland are ridiculous. Like you're literally paying in some places in Ireland thousands for a little box. Um, there's actually an account. Ah, I've forgotten what it's called, but they basically document like all of the ridiculous house prices, and it's like what like there's £7,000 a month for a small box apartment. It's just outrageous. Like things are really getting expensive, and I know quite a few people from Ireland who are now moving to Spain because of this. They're quite lucky they've got remote jobs or they can make money online in other ways, and they're just leaving. People are voting with their feet. Get in touch with Ed Sheeran's agent. Maybe he could help you record your song. Oh no. I won't quit the day job. I'll just carry on with my freelancing and then uh I'll be good. Yeah, Deb, it was that bloody bus from Nigel Farage saying we'd save 250 million on the NHS. What a lie. Because we overspent on Mr. C, giving all those illegal Mr. C contracts to our political friends and family members who were never going to fulfill those contracts. Yeah, turn Buckingham Palace into an Airbnb. Use the profits to build affordable houses. I think that Buckingham Palace could be used for so many things. Um, People actually coming to visit the grounds. I think that you could have tea rooms in there. I think that you could have what do you call it? You know where people get married? A registry office. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine a registry office in Buckingham Palace? It would be fully booked every single day. I had a friend who got married in Italy, and a lot of their registry offices are in, castles and these beautiful buildings, and people would pay money for that. There's so much that can be done, not just with Buckingham Palace, but with the other castles and royal households. They just don't want to share with the British public, even though that's what we're owed. Those are our buildings. Benjamin, do you think there'll be any spotlight on the 25th anniversary of Diana's so-called accident this year? Um, I mean, from the squad and Diana stands, yes. From the royal household, I don't know. I don't know. Even if they did to try and come across as sympathetic or caring, people would just remind them again of what they did to Diana. So even if they did try to do something, they're just going to get criticized for it anyway. So my feeling is they may take the silent approach, or it will just be the boys that do something. It'll just be Harry and William that do something, if anything is done. Sister in what £9,000? The standard federal loan debt is up to Jesus over $100,000. That includes grad borrowing. That's a lifetime of repaying on top of additional loans. Wow. Do you know what? These days, there's so many options for you outside of the traditional system of going and getting a university degree, unless it's something that's very specific that absolutely requires a degree. I do agree that some of these degrees are quite wasteful, but there are so many other options for you now. You can go and learn a skill online. There's websites like Skillshare, Udemy, and maybe learn some kind of skill that you can actually go straight into a job for. And that's what I feel like we need to be encouraging more, and not making people feel that, oh, if you don't go to university, you don't get a degree, there's no options for you. because I think that's what a lot of people feel. They feel like that's their only gateway into employment. Mm. Oh, thank you, Dorothy Ross, for the super sticker. Highly appreciated, darling. Um, Cookies and cream. The unroyal family is so threatened by Meghan that they're doing everything possible to make Meghan's name toxic so that no one wants to be associated with her. Well, there was a time when I think you really felt that that was the case. I mean, do you remember back when Meghan was first signed to the Henry Walker Agency? And let's not forget, everyone, she is signed to the Henry Walker Agency. They had to put their Twitter account on private. And so there was really a time when people were scared to post anything to do with Meghan because they just get bombarded with hate. But I feel like that has slowly started to fade away. It's definitely not the level of vitriol as it used to be. And I can feel that it's not. Anna, a rundown house in the hood is going up to 1 million. Yeah, it's the truth. People are tired of paying rent on a one-bedroom apartment, 2,500 a month. And it's insane. Like, and you're so right about house prices being so expensive in rundown hood areas. And it's like, that 1 million could have bought you somewhere really nice, in a really nice area, 5, 10 years ago. So I would love to see those migration numbers of Brits actually leaving the UK in the next couple of years, because it's definitely happening. It's just like people just aren't talking about it, and that's going to drive up property prices wherever they go. Mm. And so, yeah, turn Buckingham Palace into an Airbnb. Well, there's several apartments inside, so they could turn at least one or two of them into Airbnbs, no? Okay, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Um, who's going to get the last word? And Clara, so many people leaving Britain right now, and soon they will be asking professionals as well as manual labourers to come and help fill the jobs the lazy Brits refuse to do. Yeah, there are a lot of people. I mean, right now, if you um have a remote job or you can make money remotely, what reason do you have to stay? For what reason? That's the way I see it anyway. That's why I want to leave. Why not go somewhere where it's sunnier and cheaper to live? Avery, a lot of Brits migrate to countries like Kenya, South Africa, Zambia, and Ghana, but they never highlight it. Yeah, in Zambia, there's a lot of British people, and the ones who are a little bit more wealthy are they're buying a lot of land, a lot of farmland. Denise, housing prices are going up because a lot of these investment companies buy properties and are forcing a forever rent in the USA, which drives prices everywhere. Yeah, and they really come in like rodents whenever there's a recession because they're the ones that can afford it. Dilly, are we dancing? Is it too early? No, it's not too early. I'll let you dance out. Um, Dorothy Loves, I've enjoyed the afternoon chat. Can we have one again if possible? Okay, if you guys want afternoon chats, maybe what I'll do is I'll switch it up. So maybe like every other day an evening one, and then every other day an afternoon one, or maybe like once a week an afternoon one, maybe like Wednesday afternoon chats, and then I'll keep the rest to the evening just so I don't mess up my usual timetable too much. I just happened to do this one in the afternoon today just because I've got something going on this evening. But if you do like afternoon chats, then I will do them every now and again. And yes, I will let you know when I've come up with the email for you to email me if you want to come onto the show. I will let you know the email address that you can send me a message. But that is going to be all for today. Elaine, I'll let you have the final word. Bye, everyone. Have a blessed day, Scotties, wherever you are in the world. Amen. Yeah, and let's not pay let's not pay any more attention to Jason Lee. Have a lovely day, everyone. Bye.